Hey guys, so after a long time, I thought of let's start this S3 concepts in this series. I think in the last couple of series we have completed IAM basics. Okay, I'm not, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about very advanced one in all the services, whatever I've explained. That is just for completely for beginners who wants to touch base, who just wants to understand the concept. That's it. Okay, so we have completed almost what was cloud and the basics of AWS and IAM and EC2, and inside EC2 we have seen a couple of concepts, load balancers and various ways of load balancer. And in they have introduced Amazon introduced a new load balancer in late 2020, which is gateway load balancer. So we'll talk about it later on that part that was missing. And the next one is we explained about auto scaling. We did some demo on that. Um, now we will talk about S3. So S3 is it's fresh topic. Um, so let's see how and what are the various concepts in S3, what are the various features in S3. We will try to touch base on all the basic features in S3. We'll do some practicals on that. So that's the agenda for this S3 series. Okay. Okay, so let's start without any further ado. Okay, so basically, what S3 is nothing but it is a simple storage service. So it's one of the oldest service when AWS launched. So when AWS launched in around 2005 or 2006, so from with EC2, this is also, I mean, this is also one of the important service which got released. Okay, cool. Now what we are going to see is we're going to I'll just explain you the concepts of S3. What are the basic essentials? What are the basic components? So it would be easy when we are doing practical. So the first one is, okay, before I do that, you guys have to understand, okay, I mean, who's using S3, yeah? What kind of customers are using S3? For example, if you open Google and if you see who uses S3, okay, if you hit enter, so there are a lot of companies which uses S3 for your storage. Even if you go to your Amazon, okay, then if you go for S3 here, so S3 comes and yeah, S3 comes and then it will tell you that it says scalable storage in the cloud. So it's one of the storage service, okay, which comes in the cloud. So even if you hit on services here, scroll down. Okay, not yet. This is all services, AWS. Okay, all services. So if you go for S3, see. So S3 here, this is comes under a category called storage. Okay. So in a layman term, S3 is used to store some files. Okay. Now what kind of files? That is what important. Yeah. So I mean you cannot store any kind of operating system, the entire operating system, something like that, which is not useful. Yeah. This is your any kind of movies or any kind of data, which always gets transferred. So, so this is comes under the storage space. And if you mention, if I Google who uses S3, you can click on this customer. For example, Amazon S3 customers, click on this. So you can see a lot of clients are using S3 components like Siemens and GE and Ryanair, Autodesk, Nasdaq. I mean, it's almost used by all the companies nowadays, and which is a kind of serverless, and it is very very good for your file storage. Yeah. So there are various features, lot of nice features are there in S3, so we will go one by one. Okay, cool. Now I will quickly talk about, okay, here we go. So S3 is what? So remember these kind of keywords. Okay, so S3 is an object storage. So S3, so S3 is object storage. So this is a keyword. It's an object storage. Okay, it is not file or block storage. Okay, it is only the object storage. Maybe when you're attending some exam, certification exam, this might come up. Okay, but it looks basic, but just remember that. Okay, so the next one is you cannot mount the S3 into any OS. That is not the functionality. Okay, for example, I think I have shown you guys mounting when we were talking about EBS session. So I went to the operating system, so I just ran some command, so I tried mounting. So that is not possible. Okay, that is not what it's made for. Okay, so this is mainly made for larger scale data storage. Yeah, so this is the main functionality of S3. Okay, now the next thing is there are three components which I want you guys to be focused on. Okay, so the component is the first one is there are three components of S3. So what are the three components? The first one is bucket. Okay, the second one is object. Okay, and the third one is folder. So these are all the main components of S3, and there are some keywords which you need to understand whenever you're talking about S3. Okay, so what are the keywords which is very important for that? Okay, so for that is the first one is prefix, the second one is key, and the third one is object name. So I'll just show you all these things in the example one, but just understand these are all the very basic components of S3. So again, S3 is nothing but it's a global storage platform. Okay, and you can store any kind of movies. So you can store any kind of movies, okay, and then audios, and then photos, large data sets, so anything like that. Okay, now for one object, the maximum it can have 5 GB of one object maximum. Okay, so if you want to go above that, then you have to go some concept called multi-part upload. Understand that? Multi-part upload. If you want to add, or if you want to if one object is more than 5 GB, then if you want to go if you want to upload it, then what you have to do is you have to go with the multi-part upload. Okay, that is very important. Yeah. This one is not 5, it's not 5 GB, it's 5 TB. Okay, 1 minute. So this is not 5 GB, this is 5 TB, 5 terabyte TB. Okay, so one object, maximum object size, it can have 5 TB. Okay, but if you're trying above 5 TB for one object, then you have to use what? Multi-part upload. Okay, so this is the basics of S3. And if I mean whatever I said, if I want you guys to show, show you here, see this. So how will you search for S3? Come here, click on S3 here. So you got S3, click on it. So you'll get this page, the first page. Now I don't have any buckets created, and this S3, the entire console, okay, this entire console is, it says global here. See, it's nothing region based. The entire console is region based. Okay, if you see this is global. Okay, yeah, but if you see, for example, if you go and see some other service, okay, say for example, if you go for EC2, you can see that on the right side it will change. See, it's moved to Mumbai. Okay, and if you see something else, for example, if you see VPC, just hitting VPC, so that is also same, it's more. If you go for IAM, if you hit IAM, which we have already seen, that will become global again. See this on the right side, it's global. So there are few services, the console which says global, and the few services which will say region based. So right now we are doing S3, enter. So it is, the console is a global based. Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. Now as I was explaining about buckets, so one of the key components called bucket. Okay, so what do you mean by buckets? So buckets is nothing but it just acts like a container for you, okay, where you can store the files. It's like you can say like I can say like this. 1 minute, I'll show you. So you can say buckets is like this, just for our example. See this, buckets is nothing but, you can say, as a directories. So what do you mean by directories? Directories means you will store a lot of files. For example, if I'm going for Windows here, then if I'm going for these are all one directory. AWS one directory, this one is 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 one directory. For example, if I'm going to Zoom directory, so this is like a bucket. Zoom is like a one bucket. So I'm opening Zoom, so I have sub buckets inside one bucket, and then I have a lot of objects here. Okay, so likewise in one more buckets, I have 3 objects here. Okay, so here I have softwares. Inside softwares, I have all the objects, list of objects, 15 objects I have. Okay, so this is what buckets, you can consider it as a directories. Okay, now what do you mean by objects? Objects is nothing but your list of files. Objects is equal to files. Okay, so Amazon S3 does all these things. It is allowing you to store the files in the buckets. Okay, now there is a rule here. What is the rule? Rule is buckets, right here, this bucket. So this bucket, okay, it should be unique, the name unique. Okay, it should be unique, UNIQUE. Okay, say for example, if one guy is creating one bucket, okay, and he is giving a bucket name like Sam bucket, and if another guy is trying to create another bucket with having the same name here, it will not work. This guy will not be able to create it. No, it will not work. This will tell some error. So he should choose a different bucket. So it's like a globally unique name should be there. Okay, and buckets are defined in the region level. When you're creating a bucket, you should tell, okay, which region you have to create the bucket. Okay, and the next one is these buckets should be for example, there are some for example, you have to say it should not be no uppercase, no capital letters whenever naming the bucket, and no underscore also. Okay, and it always starts with lowercase letter or number. So these are all the various rules when I'm talking about S3. Okay, Now if I really want to quickly go through this, see this. So this is as soon as I hit on S3. So on the left side you'll get Amazon S3. Then you'll get buckets here. So inside the bucket right now I'm getting now no bucket. It says zero. Okay. So it says you do not have any buckets. Okay. Now if you hit on create bucket, then you have a lot of options, which we will talk about it in a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes after. Okay, cool. So I will be explaining you more in my next video. Yeah, so thank you.